Hello, my name is Adrian and I'm the Director of the British Training Board. The reason I'm talking today is I want to tell you all about the new skills translator that transfers military qualifications into civilian ones with the minimum amount of effort using your military service you've already achieved. Okay, what we have here is a brief overview of what happens. Well, first of all, you enter military service, whether that's a young soldier, an airman or seaman, or you join later on in life and you do the military service. Throughout your service, you have a full and active career, going to various places, and through your active career, you gain experience. This experience is gained from everything you do, from when you first day when you start in the military, from basic training, right through to till you get promotion, and then ultimately all the way through them good times within the military. As you're going through your military service, you gain various different military qualifications. These qualifications range from the normal JPA users, which is IT skills, following on through promotion cadres, junior NCO cadres, all the way up to and including your CLM, common military syllabuses, your JMQC for the older amongst you, now the CLM part 1, 2 and 3. Also as well, as you go through your military career, you pick up various different qualifications, some of which don't actually equate too much in civilian street, which you may think, but you couldn't be further from the truth. As you go through the military, we end up at the end of contract or career change. It comes to all of us. My contract changed at the end of 2012 when I left the military after 22 years at the army, and then obviously the door shut behind me and I had to move on and get to where I wanted to be. The problem was, when I went to ask about doing my military qualification into civilian ones, there wasn't anything. So I was given the old, the normal Pathfinder magazine or the Quest magazine and told to crack on and get myself squared away, which unfortunately I couldn't do because I didn't have the career aspects or know exactly what I was going to be doing when I left the military, because all the way through, I've been concentrating on being in the army and doing a good career. The career transition partnership, which is the 3-day workshop that everybody receives, and also you get support up to 2 years after leaving the military, is great. However, what happens after you finish that 2 years? Most soldiers, when the first 3 years of leaving the military, have between 8 and 12 different career changes, again due to not being able to decide on what they want to do. So obviously, you go from a structured approach when you're in the military to actually leaving and then trying to find out your own jobs and so on. So to that end, we as soldiers leave with minimal civilian employment understanding. Take my own case in point. I joined the army just before my 16th birthday. I left just before my 40th birthday. So again, I had a full and active career in the military, but didn't really have any civilian engagement, apart from obviously when I was on tour or when I was doing keeping the army in the public eye type acts. So again, a minimal civilian employment understanding. I didn't really understand the civvies, and while I was in the military, I didn't really want to know about civvies. So there we have the joy of the social media aspect of it now. This is where the British Training Board community comes in. We've actually got an active Facebook page at the moment, which is the British Training Board, and we've also got an active Facebook group, which is the British Training Board group. It's got over 1,000 members at the moment, everything from serving military, ex-military, the spouses and dependents. And again, we don't compromise against who we have in the group. We do take anybody really, to be fair, but we're all there the same understanding of helping each other out. What the group tries to do is to manage the expectations. There's a lot of soldiers certainly believe that they're going to walk straight into a 30, 40, 50,000 pound job and be straight off the mark. Well, unfortunately, that's not the way it is. I was fortunate enough to start a company with my business partner and brother, and from there we managed to get ourselves a good living, but it is hard work. So what the British Training Board does is it manages your expectation. We do that by charities and mentor services. We're actually working with a couple of charities at the moment you may have heard of. One is SAFA, and the other is the Changing Step, which is a drugs and alcohol awareness for ex-service personnel. So the British Training Board community itself is a community that helps individuals or groups of ex-service personnel or serving service personnel to make sure that they get the best transition from military to civilian careers. What that includes then is an employment engagement program. The employment engagement program itself is very much in the lower phases at the moment. We're just starting off. We've talked to some big companies like 3M's, Land Rover in the Midlands. We've talked to Tata Steel, to name just a few. And these employers are looking to actively seek to employ ex-military personnel. We've also got local business involvement within local communities. So if you think about settling down in a certain community, again, you can go to the British Training Board community and we can try and help you find a placement in your area. But the big thing what we do is, the thing which we're proud of, is the guaranteed interview. So once you come from your local business employment, instead of just being fobbed off, or like you would do with a normal training provider, do the training and then go and look for a job, what we do is we try and find out what you're interested in using the mentoring in the community, and then we look for a role that you would be suited to and you're happy with in your area, and then we speak to the employer and we guarantee you an interview, because the interview is actually where it is. It doesn't matter what qualifications you got, whether they're level 1, 2, 5, 7, or whatever. It's the interview that's going to get you there. So if you do the interview with the client and the client likes you, then what we do is send you back into the skills translator service. This is where you flip from the British Training Board into Arctic Training. And Arctic Training will do the actual services for you. So the skills translation service done by the British Training Board will map all your qualifications across to civilian ones, and then what happens is you get the information sent across to you. After that, you get employer-led community training if required. So again, if the company you're working for has a specific training program, it will then be delivered before you actually turn up on the job. So when you turn up on the job on the first day, you're already trained, you're already qualified, you've already been accepted for the job, and you know exactly what you're doing. So they get, from the employer's point of view, they get a fully engaged person who's already completed their work induction programs, already got the relevant qualifications, and they already know they can actually do the job because they've gained the experience in the military before they've even got there. After you've done that, we then go for the next part of the deal, which is the ongoing mentor support. And the ongoing mentor support is to make sure that you're in the right job. We don't hold your hands, but what we do is make sure that you're actually happy with where you are, and that support is ongoing all the way through the process, from the start as you enter the military service, up until the point where you get onto the British Training Board community, and then up into the changing mentor roles. And again, we call it a life change because it actually is. It actually is a life change engine. If you take it from start to finish, once you leave the military, it'll give you all the help you require, because it's like-minded people. All the staff in the British Training Board are ex-military, and if they're not ex-military, they are very academic. And we also got a recruitment service as well, who actually delivers qualifications and actually delivers jobs ready people for us. And then the final thing is you go back into the community. What we say with back into the community is you actually go back into the community where you started from. So it goes back from there all the way across back into the British Training Board community, and you feed back the information that you've already had. That way it draws more people into the community, which means we can help more individuals. It makes the community stronger and bigger, which means we can draw down on more employers, which means that we can get more guaranteed interviews. So the more companies that come on board, the bigger the actual project becomes, and then everybody gets the same outcome. So everybody gets a different life change engine, goes back into the community, and that's the way you feed the system. And there we have it. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully you will be able to use our services in the future. As I said, for more information, please either call the number on the screen at the moment, or email info@britishtrainingboard.org.uk. Thanks very much for listening, and hope you enjoy your day.